Hi, everybody. It's Everyday Hockey, and this is episode 7. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the hockey playoffs. Dale, how are you doing?
Not bad. I overcoming a bit of the flu, so I kind of have a little bit of my FM voice on right now, but otherwise good. Yeah. How are you doing?
Fortunately, you and I didn't actually get together, even though I'm in Alberta, so I don't have the flu. But
No.
I don't know if that's a positive or a negative. It's net positive if one of us doesn't get sick. Going back to Nova Scotia this week, and it's my granddaughter's first birthday, and so I'd just as soon not take the flu as the first gift that I give her. So thank you, Dale,
Yeah,
for
yeah. No,
for
that'll be.
being virtual instead of in person at this point.
No, I know. I've kind of, yeah. I haven't been around people for a while, so I feel like it's pretty contagious. I don't know where I picked it up, and so I don't want to spread it around.
Well, it's interesting how since COVID we're a little more aware of those kind of things, right? Or maybe we were before, but now we actually take the precaution, which maybe is a better thing for everybody involved. So playoffs. We're not that far away from the NHL playoffs. I have a few stories of my own about my own experience with playoffs as being a hockey parent.
I think the playoffs are going to start the week of April 20th. The Oilers' final game before the playoffs is April 16th against Vancouver. They host Vancouver. they Who knows, that game could come down to the Oilers making the playoffs or not, just the way they are right now. Usually what'll happen after that game is the playoffs will start the next week. What a grind that's going to be.
We get into this part of the year, and then you can look back and say, what a different spot we were in last year. For my team, of course, the Winnipeg Jets, I look at it and I say, hey, we were President's Trophy winners last year. And now, if we don't have like a really, really, really solid run down, this stretch here, there's no chance they're making the playoffs. I mean, they just had a 3-game road trip where they went into overtime in 3 games and won only one out of those. And there's Connor Hellebuck, the hero from the Olympics, letting in 3 goals late in the game, and
Right.
you just go, "Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Where was that Hallebuck when we needed him in Milan?"
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Same thing with the Oilers. Like they just finished up a 3-game California road trip, and they won one. They beat LA like handily, and I think they got 17 goals in 3 games, which normally should win 3 games, right? But I know their first game in Anaheim, they started Tristan Jarry, and wow, that guy. He called the team out before the Olympic break. He was in the media saying, this, I don't like the defensive system here, and guys aren't coming back and stuff. And sorry to say, but he let in some bad goals. And I hate to kind of denounce fellow goalies here, being a goalie myself, but you know what? You got to stop those pucks. And, after he got pulled with 13 minutes left in that game, they ended up losing it, and he never saw the net. Connor Ingram got in. I don't blame the coaching staff at all. It's like, hate to say this, but that trade, even though Stuart Skinner had to go, like, it was just time. That trade is not looking very good for the Oilers or Stan Bowman. And the only saving grace is they have Calvin Pickard in the minors, because they put him on waivers and no team picked him up. And he's a good, reliable guy.
For sure,
Yeah,
and he's come through in the past in the playoffs for the Oilers. So they've got some
that
decisions to make, eh?
they do, because Jari's got a 5.3, I think, or $5.7 million contract per year. Pickard's is only 1 million a year. But the Oilers are up against the cap so tightly that they'd actually have to send a forward down or a defenseman in order to call Pickard up.
Right.
So, but just the way Jari played reminded me so much of Jack Campbell. It's like he lost it, and I had high hopes for Jari because he played for the Edmonton Oil Kings
Hmm.
back in his junior days, and he won a Memorial Cup, and I thought, wow, this guy knows what he's got championship pedigree. And now, like, after watching him, I thought, I know what that's like to let in goals like that, and you gotta sometimes you just have to admit it's like you don't got it, and he ain't got it. I don't know. Like they've got basically while the trade deadline is this Friday. I think it's at like 1 or 2 o'clock Eastern time is the final hours for the trade. But I don't know if Stan Bowman's going to try and pull something off for another goalie. Doubt it, but I think he's too cash strapped. But
Well, and really, when it comes down to it, what factor has the biggest impact on the playoffs? And so often, what it is, it's a hot goaltender. I mean,
it
it's
really is.
just that's just the way it is. And oh, here's a trivia question for you, Dale. What is the lowest seeded team in NHL history to win the Stanley Cup?
I'm going to take a wild guess that it would be the Los Angeles Kings when they were a wild card team.
Yeah, you're right. In the 2011-2012, they clinched postseason spot, their 81st game of the regular season. They beat the President's Trophy winning Vancouver Canucks in the first round, and they became the first eighth seeded team to win the Stanley Cup in NHL history.
Wow. I
And
think
and you know what? The Oilers reached the Cup Finals 2005-2006 as an eighth seeded team as well. But you know what? The difference there was their goaltender. And who
yeah,
was
that's right.
goaltender for the LA Kings?
That would have been Jonathan Quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
playoff
and
MVP, wins the Conn Smythe, and they went a record-setting 8-0 on the road, and were the first NHL team to lead each of the first three rounds 3-0. So I mean, it's such a grind. It's the NHL. It's such a grind. Like the playoffs are just crazy when you think about it. If you went to 7 games each round,
oh,
wow, that is
oh,
just
it's crazy.
ridiculous.
It's crazy. Like I remember last year the Oilers they weren't good going into the playoffs, and I think LA, if I remember correctly, LA was up 2 games to nothing in that series.
Hmm.
Oh, I think LA finished ahead of them. I think Edmonton finished in third. Sorry, and there was a play that Evan Bouchard made because everybody always says, "Oh, he coughs the puck up all the time," but I think it was in game. Oilers won game 3 to make the series 2-1 LA,
Hmm.
and then I think it was game 4. Could have been game 4 in Edmonton, and Edmonton was down in the final minute and had the goalie pulled, and Quinton Byfield of LA had the puck on his stick, and all he had to do was he's in the zone, he's in his own zone. All he has to do is like lift it up and fire it out of the zone.
Hmm. Hmm.
And Evan Bouchard made an unbelievable play at the blue line to keep the puck in, and then passes it, I think, to Draisaitl or Nugent Hopkins or McDavid, and then gets into the slot and scores the winning goal with like 20 some seconds left or not the winning goal, but I think the tying goal.
The tying goal, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
To
with
send
the,
it
with the
into
goalie
overtime.
pulled, yeah.
Yeah.
And that, you know what? It's stuff like that. I think for me, that's what makes the playoffs. Like for as a fan to watch that, and how everybody gives their all. It comes down to one guy making one play, and it can save a 7 game series. I mean, look at the Jets last year, the miracle in Manitoba.
Oh man, that was
Like, oh,
unbelievable. That was
like
so unreal.
like it really is just so phenomenal to watch. Players with fractions of a second left on the clock put the
Yeah,
puck into.
weren't the Jets down 2-0, like by 2 goals in the last minute?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
And then it came back and tied it with like 2.4 seconds left, and then won it in overtime in the seventh game. In the seventh game, Dale. Like
Yeah,
what?
that's so unbelievable. Man, I know. I know. And you think like sometimes that wins like that will lift a team. I know that Oiler win with that play that Bouchard made, they were a different team after that. And they got their playoff mojo after that. And sometimes that's all it takes is a couple of sometimes it's even an upset win or something, or unexpected win, or a great play, a great save. And
Right. Yeah.
series gets turned. Yeah, a series can turn. It's so tight.
Exactly, exactly. So, we can talk about the NHL playoffs obviously forever, and there's lots of statistics and stuff like that. But I also have a few thoughts on playoffs overall.
Yeah.
So, are you okay if we talk about that?
Oh yeah, for sure. No, love it. Love the topic.
Okay, so tournament playoffs. As a hockey parent, how many tournaments did I attend in the years that my kids were playing hockey? You head off to a tournament. You pull your kids out of school on a Thursday, even though Dale, pre-hockey, you said you would never sacrifice academics for sports.
Yeah.
Academics would always come first. And then, well, you faced a 9-hour drive to Calgary for the tournament, and you said, what's a missed day going to do? Okay, so then you go and you play the round robin games and you get seeded for the playoff rounds. And this is where I think tournament organizers do it wrong. So tradition says your bronze medal game goes first,
Yeah.
Sunday morning. Then late on Sunday afternoon is the gold medal final.
Right.
But to me, where is the incentive? Certainly for parents by Sunday afternoon, I mean, you're done.
Oh, totally.
It's like get me out of here. So why don't they flip-flop those games? The incentive should be win the tournament, get to go home early.
Yes.
I mean, like when you're facing a 9-hour drive,
Oh,
a 9-hour drive home, it looks a lot different when you're on your way at 11 a.m. on Sunday, as opposed to how it looks as you're taking team photos on the ice at 6 p.m. Sunday evening. I mean,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
your
Big
mind is
time.
starting to go towards calling in sick Monday and staying an extra night in the hotel. Oh, maybe the hockey mom who has to be at works, on Monday morning. So you're considering a $1,400 short notice flight for her.
Oh, I know. I know because it's like that Monday you go back to work, you're dragging your
Oh,
butt.
oh my gosh.
You are tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, when I look at that and I say, come on, tournament organizers, switch it up. Make the win be about getting to go home early.
I played when I was living in Calgary in the early 2000s. I played in a league. My creative director, my boss Mark Comanche, got me on his team.
Mm-hmm.
And the first year we played, we were last in the league, and there was a year-end tournament like for all the teams, and we were last, and we had a great group of guys, and I think our defenseman must have scored 3 or 4 goals on me that year, and I didn't get. I just it's like no, that's part of the game and stuff, and they were nice guys, but the next year we ended up getting somebody on our team knew a teacher coming home from Switzerland. He was playing pro hockey in Switzerland, and he was a teacher. And we found out that he had played on the Swift Current Broncos Memorial Cup winning team. And
Oh, okay.
we went from last to first because he could score on goalies from just over the red line in our league. And and we were in a tournament. I remember, I think it was the first or second game, and I loved playing with that guy. He was so good, such a great guy too. And I got hot. We the number one team, we took them to overtime, to a
Mm-hmm.
shootout,
Mm-hmm.
and I stopped the right amount of pucks in the shootout, and we went to the finals and we won. And the only reason we won is because we were a bunch of beer leaguers and we had a Memorial Cup winning Western Hockey League player on our team. Oh
Well,
man,
welcome to the beer leagues. Hey, one guy shines, and that's all you need.
that's all we needed to go from the basement to the penthouse is a guy from the Swiss League. Yeah.
Okay, I got another story for you, and this is sort of like a little more personal. I mean, the first one was a little bit of a bitch session about tournaments, but here it is. This is a playoff story. 2013, Erica's team, the Regina Rebels, midget AAA, go to the Esso Cup. You actually had to beat Manitoba as well. So you win your own league, and then you got to beat the Manitoba champion. Winner of that would get to go to the Esso Cup. And so we ended up beating Manitoba. So I had to travel down to Winnipeg and play a couple of games down there. And then they ended up beating them and got to go to Esso Cup. And the first game was against Quebec, and we beat them, which, made us feel pretty good about our chances.
Yeah.
And when I say we, of course, it's the girls that played, and
It's your team.
Yeah, it's our team.
It's your
So
team.
anyway, ended up in the semifinals against the same team. But in the meantime, I was talking to a few people, and they told me that the Quebec team was actually an all-star team from their league.
Oh
Okay,
man.
so now what's the deal here? Everyone else was a club team. To get to the tournament, we had to beat the Manitoba champion as well. But
Right.
Hockey Canada at the time was so anxious to have a Quebec team involved that they let them bring an all-star team from their double A league. And in the words of one of the Quebec parents, and I'll do it with the accent, even though it's inappropriate. Well, we don't have the triple A hockey. We only have the double A, which of course is just that's horseshit. It's just a name given to the league. It doesn't mean really anything. I mean, how do you justify AAA versus AA? I don't know. Did they base it on the population in the community or something like that? But anyway, as it turns out, in the first game we beat them because they were a new team. They hadn't figured out their line combinations, etc. But by the semifinal, they were clicking and they beat us, and they went on to win the Esso Cup. While we, the only team that had beaten them, lost in the bronze medal game to an Edmonton team.
Oh man.
On the bright side of that experience, Burnaby, BC was in full spring mode when we got there. And Regina was still freaking neck deep in snow, and it was cold and it was crappy. And for us, and because we were a hockey family, we didn't go on hot holidays, but that was for us, that was a hot holiday.
Oh, that would be nice. And just that fresh spring air too.
Oh my gosh. I remember getting off the airplane and walking down, out of the airport into the open. I couldn't inhale enough.
Yeah, the humidity. That's one thing I love about the Vancouver airport. Getting outside the building, outside the terminal, and just taking in, smelling the humidity, and it's like, this is good. Yeah.
Trees and flowers and stuff like that, which we hadn't smelled for 6 months anyway.
Yeah, you're talking about a team stacking their team, and like the Quebec team, and I don't know why I got this memory of a guy. I was 17 years old playing junior B, and we were in Barhead, Alberta. They were the league champs. We heard this rumor that the toughest guy in the league had just been released from jail, and he was going to be in the lineup that night. So this big, I'm 17, these guys are 21. You could play junior B till you're 21 in that league. And
right, yeah.
This guy comes down and rips a shot at me. I duck. It's right in my head. I duck. Anyway, at the next whistle, the ref comes by because Barhead was saying that puck went in. But the thing is, it went past my neck and I heard it hit the boards. Well, lo and behold, it went through the net. Man, that was like, wow. Yeah, our team, our coach, his name was Henry Wasilic. He was choked. He's like, give me a break. How could you call that and stuff? But yeah, they called it. And
they called it a goal?
Yeah. And I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure, just to make the story even better, I think it was the guy from jail.
Because we all know, Dale, if you want to be a good hockey player, you should probably put a little bit of jail in your training.
Yeah.
Makes for a good story anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got one more here to share with you about playoffs. When Erica's University of Manitoba team won the national championship, I know I've mentioned it before and want to dwell on it, but it was a pretty big moment in her career. It was a hard-fought battle. So all the way, we had overtime games, like favorable bounces, shootout wins. This is from the following year. I remember playing Edmonton in Manitoba, and we go into overtime in the deciding game to decide who goes onto the national championship, and they're booking their flights. I can hear the parents,
wow,
because it was in Prince Edward Island, and they started booking their flights during the overtime period, and we ended up winning, which was
Oh,
just, like, it was just magic. So in that year, that 2017, 2018, when they actually won, the Bisons go to the fourth overtime against the U of S. And I picture them. I mean, you know how it is. You think about, you're in the stands, in between the third and fourth overtime period, and you think, my gosh, what a battle here. They've played two full games of hockey, and we're waiting for one goal to decide this thing. And you picture them, you know, gathered in the dressing room, all, like, hunkered down, and they're just solidly focused. Maybe they're eating pizza, like they've ordered up a pizza because they're, try to replace some of that energy that they've let out in two full games of hockey. And then I asked Erica about what the atmosphere was like, expecting her to tell me, these great stories about how the girls were so focused, and it was not like that at all. She goes, well, a couple of girls are crying. One's in the other room having a meltdown because her line mates aren't passing to her.
oh
others
no.
others are super mad because the coach may have shortened the bench at some point to try and get the win, but they ended
Oh,
up pulling it out and eventually
wow.
won the whole thing, which was in some ways, I guess, a bit of a life changer for Erica, because she had a pedigree behind her, like to say, hey, I won a national championship as a defenseman on this team, and maybe that's what tipped the balance for her when it came to getting a contract in Sweden. So when you look at that kind of thing, and you say, wow, it is remarkable when a team wins a championship, especially in hockey, how many opportunities they had to lose that,
Right.
and it totally go a different direction. But you get puck luck, and you get almost inhuman efforts on the part of some players, and just it's just remarkable.
That's what I thought about when Canada lost the gold medal game, the men's team, when Connor McDavid went in against 3 USA players and then lost the puck and then was scrambling to get back, him and Makar. I was like, oh man, why did he do that? But I watched the 2010 highlights of Sidney Crosby's goal, the golden goal in
Hmm.
Vancouver.
Hmm.
He did the exact same thing, but
Hmm.
he got really lucky because the puck went down the side of the boards and it hits the linesman. It hit the linesman, and that's where Ginla picked it up and fed him off the side, and he scored. Like, that's how close it is.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was kind of like, for anyone blaming McDavid, it was go look at those exact two plays. They're pretty close, except McDavid's puck didn't hit a linesman and stay in the zone.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's how
And
close it
then,
is.
yeah,
Yeah.
and really, yeah, the difference being that moment, which is a totally legal play. I mean, it's not like, you purposely tried to hit the linesman, but for it to bounce out in the right spot at the right time, and it really is, it's remarkable. And as a fan, what more can you ask for? What more?
Just meant to be. And I did want to say I noticed this week that University of Manitoba ladies team made the nationals again. They beat Mount Royal University, which is Mount Royal's turned into kind of a powerhouse in men's and women's hockey and university in the West here.
Hmm.
And another piece of news was the Pandas coach, Howie Draper, announced his retirement.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, he'd been with the Pandas, I think, for over 25 years, I think.
I
Yeah.
wonder. My wonder is, will Howie show up behind the bench for another PWHL team? Howie was in New York when the league debuted,
Yeah.
and he only lasted a year. And my thought behind that was, did he go home, like, just didn't want to live in New York, just didn't want to live that far away from family, didn't want to, do that kind of thing? Did he just say, you know what, I'm not doing this? And does that indicate Howie deciding to retire at this point? Does that indicate that maybe Edmonton is about to get a PWHL team?
Interesting thought. That's a good thought. Could happen because I think they did well when they hosted their games this year. They
Hmm.
had pretty good attendance, and I think the city would definitely support a team,
Well,
especially Edmonton and Calgary. Like, especially Calgary's going to get their new arena in a year,
right, right.
so that would be sweet to have both cities getting a team.
And now speaking of playoffs, and it's just a personal one for me. Yesterday, Erica's team from Sweden, Luleå, they managed to get their first win. They were playing a team called Djurgården out of Stockholm, and they gave up the first goal and then got the next five in a row. So they're one up in that series, and it's a best of five.
Hey, that's good.
Also in that league, there is a team that won the league last year, and they were kind of a brand new team. What happened was they team that lost in relegation, and a new team came up, basically from Gothenburg. They moved up into the league, and then what happened was they spent a bunch of money, and they got a whole bunch of players, including the superstar from Finland, Holopainen, and so she's playing for this Frölunda team. And what happened was they came in and they were a very tight knit group with a focus on the championship, and they ended up actually winning the league last year, beat Erica's team Luleå in the final, and I think they swept it actually. And anyway, basically what happened was they were a very tight knit group, but this year they are not they're not quite as invincible.
Huh.
And they actually because they actually did finish first.
Yeah.
I think they beat Luleå out for points by a couple of points, but anyway, they lost yesterday. They lost to the last place team at the bottom of the pool. And so,
Wow.
it just goes to show you, year to year, who the heck knows, right?
I know, because I think in the National Hockey League there's going to be a new champion, because Florida, I think, is 9 points out with just over 21, 22 games left, and they're not going to make that up. Mm-hmm. I can't see it. They've missed Alexander Barkov too much this year. So I think there's going to be a new Stanley Cup champion this year.
And fingers crossed for you that it's the Oilers. Fingers crossed for me that it's the Winnipeg Jets. And I think both of us will be disappointed.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Okay, well, playoff discussion and all that aside, we thank you so much for listening to Everyday Hockey. This is episode 7. We talk about playoffs a little bit here. We're going to post a few things. Our good friend Everett A. Hockey had a birthday today. So happy birthday to you, Everett. We appreciate you posting videos and stuff like that. Dale, you mentioned something about wanting to post some videos.
Yeah. Definitely want to post some videos of Erica that I saw on the Facebook page on Everett A. Hockey. And also wanted to let people know that we're now on Spotify. And as soon as I can get my head wrapped around the technology, we're going to be on our own WordPress website. So it's kind of cool. We're kind of expanding and hoping that we can reach more people, and hoping that everyone is enjoying our conversations about hockey.
And if anybody would like to send us a personal note, I can always obviously do that in comments. You can also send us an email at everydayhockeypodcast@gmail.com, and hit that subscribe button. Now, we also have a sponsor.
Wanted to again thank Angus McMillan of ASAP Windows and Doors. You can visit their website at asapwindows.ca. And you can also email Angus at asapwindows.ca and ask about the Everyday Hockey Special.
Everyday Hockey Special. That's nice. Yeah. And this is generally Central Alberta, Dale. Are we talking about Central or Northern Alberta, or?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, Central and northern parts, for sure. It's looking like it's snowing again here today, and it's looking like a long winter. And maybe there's going to be some people who, when the weather gets better, are going to want to start thinking ahead to next winter to get some new windows and doors. This confrontation in Iran is causing the price of natural gas to spike, I think $5 a gigajoule. So Ugh.
Hold on to your gigajoules, people.